Oh my gosh. Hi, Tori.
Hey, Karen. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
I'm Tori.
And I'm Karen.
And today we're going to focus on self-esteem.
What you say? What you say?
So I was thinking today about how back when I was growing up, there wasn't such an emphasis on a lot of body parts and stuff like that. So I was thinking about self-esteem in general, and the older I got, it seems like the less confident I got. Because life started changing, things started changing and things like that. And even though they were focusing on, there was a small part of the population that was focusing on like the behind back then. I didn't have one, so it wasn't that big of a deal at that time. But now I've noticed with the whole popularity of like the Kim Kardashian and stuff like that, people are more focused on stuff like that. They're more focused on bigger lips now. They're more focused on, still the breast for some people is not as big anymore. But back then it was a big thing. So I was like, hey, breast, no booty. Yeah. So I was just thinking about like how, just in general, how society just plays a big role on a person's self-esteem, regardless if it's male or female or anything like that. So what are your thoughts on it?
I think it depends on the person and how they see themselves, honestly. Like, somebody that we might not think is attractive, they might see themselves as beautiful. I think a lot has to do with the parents and their family, like, and how those people influence the way they see themselves. And I don't know. I know I'm a little more self-conscious now that I've gotten older and had kids, because kids definitely change your body. So I already had a booty, so now I got a bigger booty.
Then you got a badunk-a-dunk.
It's just harder to lose weight. And I guess the older you get, it's just harder to lose weight. But then, what was it? Marilyn Monroe was a size 10, which was really a size 12 in our day now, because dress sizes have changed so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, back then she was idolized as, a gorgeous, glamorous icon.
But a lot of women looked down on her at that time too, because they thought she was too sexualized. So
she had the voluptuous
look, and they thought they were appalled, especially that
the men loved it.
That main scene of her being over the vent. That a lot of people were appalled about that. But that's one of the major pictures that we see today and stuff. And it's just amazing how things change. And I just wanted to, I was just thinking about the upbringing of even kids today. I've noticed that usually if you have a stable household environment and you have both parents there and things like that, and though I had my stepfather there were a lot of things that happened in my childhood too that changed a lot of my dynamics as I grew up, that really hindered a lot of things. But if I feel like if you grew up in a healthy environment where both your parents were there, it was a stable environment, and then they were always encouraging you and things like that, then more than likely your self-esteem is going to be a lot better than someone who didn't have that.
Absolutely. Or even like wanted to believe in themselves. I think because we went to like a Sunday lunch or Saturday luncheon at my mom's church, and everybody went around and said something like their moms taught them. And I think the biggest thing I learned from my mom is, you just don't worry about what people think about you.
Yeah.
Like, just be yourself. And, either people like you or they don't. So, you can't sit and wonder and ponder about who thinks what looks right on you, or, what outfit doesn't fit right. Well, if it doesn't fit right, then you can't get it.
Yeah.
You gotta get something else. Like, that firsthand. Like,
absolutely.
You just kind of have to dress for your body type, and if you don't like it, then you exercise and you eat better and you get it to where you want it. And I guess it's a matter of where you want yourself to be.
Right.
And if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. It's not safely.
Right, because you have to have that desire too, because there's a lot of people that complain about their weight and things like that, or they complain about certain things that they have, but they have the ability to control that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's just having the the gumption to get up. I know there's a lot of times I'm like, I need to work out, and then I talk myself out. I'm like, oh, today I'm just gonna sit here and I'm just gonna watch this show
every morning. Every morning. Alarm clock goes off at 6 o'clock. All right, I'm gonna do it. No, just 30 more minutes. I literally have like 5 alarms on my clock. It's ridiculous.
I have that Extreme alarm. There's an app on my phone that it's called Extreme Alarm, and you can set it to where you have to do either solve a math problem you can make it as easy or complicated as you want. Yeah. And it will not go off until you solve that problem, or you have to shake it, or you have to shake your phone to get it to go off and things like that. So,
that's crazy. What do you guys do? Is there anything like you all do to like get up and exercise
and get motivated?
Yeah, like if you guys have some motivational tips, that would be awesome, or things that you could tell us, like how you try to be positive in your self-image and not let people get you down.
Yeah, because people are cruel. I mean, children are cruel. People
even,
are cruel.
My daughter, she's 5. She's in preschool. She's going to be in kindergarten. And she came home the other day saying she was ugly. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, well, the other girls at school had dresses on. And I didn't have a dress on. And I was like, Ella, a dress is pretty. But, a dress doesn't make you pretty. Mm-hmm. What's inside makes you pretty, and how you treat people and how you talk about things makes you pretty. Like, a dress can make you pretty. It'll make you look pretty, but it doesn't make you a pretty person. And so I hope she got it. We try to do little life lessons like that, because I don't want her to ever think she's
a gorgeous little girl. Like, she's so cute.
I don't ever want her or my son to think that they're not good enough, or somebody, there's always going to be somebody prettier than you, or, nicer than you, or meaner than you, or whatever. But.
So I was watching a show not too long ago, and they were talking about how if people can build their perfect body, and they allowed them, there's this app on that allows you to kind of shape your body the way you want it to be and slim yourself down and things like that. And it was just an overwhelming amount of people who would prefer their body to be a different way. And it's like, but even if you had that body, more than likely you're probably going to want something else. And
right, because your brain's still the same. So, like, even though, I don't know, I guess, there's people that want to change things about their nose, or, and I have seen people that do have, they've been born with a deformity, and it makes them really insecure.
That's understandable.
And I can understand something like that, but just the extreme of, just getting stuff done. Like the whole thing with Hollywood, with people getting older, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I do not understand why people keep getting plastic surgery. Like, we've talked about this before. Like, eventually everybody's going to look like plastic.
Just plastic and can't move.
Dolls. Like, nobody's going to have expressions anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary. Like, I want to see people that have, like, crow's feet, and you've known that they've smiled a lot, and that they've had a good life, and
people make money off of shows like that,
but at the same time, like, it's age appropriate, like,
Yeah, people make shows off of, they make money off of shows like that, of people who have messed their bodies up and have major deformities now that they didn't otherwise have. And, going back to the behind, like, people have told me, why don't you go get the Brazilian butt lift and all that stuff like that? But you see so many people who hurt themselves.
You'd have like a lopsided butt or something.
Or the one lady whose behind would flip in there because she's got some type of implant in her behind
really
and stuff.
Sad.
Yeah. People have died over things like that. And I'm just like, you know what, this is how it's made, and I just need to embrace it and go with it, because anybody that's going to love you is going to love that about you, and it's not going to be that big of a deal.
And when you're old, it's all about how you can talk with someone, and that partner, whoever you want to be with the rest of your life, if you do want to be with somebody the rest of your life, you want it to be somebody you can talk to, and it's not about the physical all the time, because when you're older,
once you're
it
older,
might be kind of hard.
It's never about the physical. It's not about the physical when you're older most of the time. It's about that beauty and love that you have, that person has within them, that attracts you to them more. And especially if you can't be someone's friend, it doesn't matter how attractive they are. It just does not matter.
Because I've met people before that I didn't think were that just instantly appealing, attractive. But then when I talk to them, it's like, oh wow, you are a gorgeous person. Like, just the way they see life, or just the way they view things. I think that can make somebody more attractive than somebody that's mean-spirited and gorgeous.
And I read something the other day too. As a guy was complaining about how there's a lot of attractive women out there who have really bad self-esteem, and he was like, I'd rather have an ugly woman or a fat woman, who, as he says, than an attractive woman to have to stroke her self-esteem all the time. And I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, how many times, regardless of how pretty you are or what your attractive level is, if you've been hurt in your life, or that takes something away from you, regardless of how attractive you are, because that means that there's something in you that made that person pull away from you, and then internally that does something to your self-esteem. And so regardless if you're the most attractive woman, we see a lot of popular women, like superstars and things like that, who just can't get good relationships and things like that, and they constantly are getting hurt. And a lot of it has to do with the type of person that you're choosing.
Because we don't want any fixer-uppers.
Right. Absolutely. The type of person that you're choosing, and just being strong enough to know that that wasn't about you.
Right.
That is about that person.
Because that person's going to have issues too.
Yeah.
So most likely. I mean,
Absolutely.
Male or female, there's always going to be, I think, some slight insecurity, whether big or small.
Yeah.
And I think finding that good person to be with is somebody that helps make you a better person and helps you make you stronger, and is okay with you waking up every morning with your hair looking crazy and your breath stinking.
And a lot of times that's your blessing in disguise, and people don't put that in perspective at that particular time, because they're so hurt by this. But a lot of times that's someone that you really shouldn't even have been with in the first place, and we internally know that. We know that a lot of times that this person's not right for us, but we'll constantly try to make it work. And I've done that plenty of times in my life.
I think everybody has.
Yeah. and then they do something, or they leave, and we take that as a term, like if they're rejecting us. But really that's something within that person, or that person wasn't even for us in the first place, so there had to be something extreme to pull that person away from us. And in reality, you can actually take that into a positive and say, hey, I get to start over. I get to try again.
Time to go fishing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And,
what'd you say?
But just even for men too, I know there's a lot of men out here who have low self-esteem, and women, I guess because we're so used to a woman being hurt and a woman being scorned and things like that, we don't really think about men.
Men get just as hurt.
Absolutely, they're just as hurt. There's a lot of women that men are with that they shouldn't be with too.
Yeah, it's on both sides.
Yeah. So, I think about that, and like I said, I've had my own struggles as well.
Sorry, my husband's interrupting us while we're trying to be serious. Talking about what you say. Ear hustling.
But I just think about that, and there's a lot of other things that you can go into that plays a role in self-esteem, like employers play a big role in self-esteem as well.
Absolutely.
If you are constantly someone who wants something more, and you have an employer tell you that holding you back, not telling you that you're doing a good job or anything like that, not giving you the promotion that you feel like that you are very deserving of because you've done everything that you possibly could for that company, that can play a major role in your self-esteem as well. And that's another reason why a lot of employees are very unhappy at work, because you bust your tail for these companies who are making millions of dollars off of your hard-earned work and things, and they're not seeing you for the person that you are. And that's another reason why there's high turnover rates, or people don't stay at companies as long as they should.
A lot of companies don't appreciate the people that do the work for them.
Yeah.
That's why it's just like a guy or a girl or whoever your partner.
Yeah. Or
you gotta keep looking.
You see that person who's not even deserving of it, the one that's very dishonest and things like that, the one that's always doing something that you can't get away with, that you wouldn't even try to get away with and stuff, and that they're the ones that are getting the push up and things like that. So that plays a really major role in self-esteem as well. and stuff. So there's just a lot of things that go into it. My thing is to constantly reevaluate where you are.
Yeah, I think it changes too. You know, because I can remember when I was younger, I just wanted to be like super skinny and, you know, exercise a lot, which I still want to do, but I don't have the time to do. But I don't really want to be super skinny anymore. I mean, it's too much hard work. Well, I want to eat salad all day.
I don't want to be super skinny for the simple fact is I don't think I look healthy.
Right.
Like that. I'm already, you know, pretty much straight.
And you have like a womanly figure.
Yeah.
Like, and guys like a womanly figure, you know, mature men.
Yeah.
You don't want little kids anymore. Yeah. You know, you don't want the 20-somethings. You want like a mature man with a grown-up job and grown-up responsibilities and thoughts, and wants a grown-up woman. You know?
Well, I just like a healthy weight. You know, myself, I would still like to lose a few pounds, but not to the point where I look sickly or, you know, I'm not trying to be a size 2.
I think you look so pretty, Tori.
Not trying to be a size 2 or anything like that. But
you should tell whoever you're talking to the next day that they are gorgeous and they're a beautiful person, because we all are. I think we, you know, not everybody but, you know, that's the, like, what is the standard beautiful? You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's
not like a white, you know, like a white beautiful is probably like Barbie in some people's eyes.
Yeah.
And then
I like Barbie. But Barbie's a little too thin.
Yeah. What is like the like weirdness of it?
Yeah.
And then I mean, every culture has so many different beautiful things about them. It's just, I think media and movies, and I like though that I've seen some articles where they're trying to bring plus models into the scene, and I think, was it Europe? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think Europe was, they're only going to use like oversized 10 models. I might be wrong about that, but I think I read that somewhere, maybe on Yahoo. But I thought that was great.
And they're gonna start
these models.
They're gonna start using little people models too. Yeah, which is a great thing because you know,
not everybody has 2 arms, 2 feet.
Yeah.
Not everybody's
it's
5'9",
right?
Like size 0. Like what is that? Like 5% of the population?
Right.
It's not even an accurate like.
And I mean, even when I go shopping and, you know, I'm looking for clothes and things like that, even on the sales racks and stuff like that, the main sizes that are usually available for women are anywhere from a size 0 to 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that lets you know that there's not a lot of people out there who are a size 0 to 3. It's like, you know, for them to have that amount of merchandise left and stuff. So that plays a role too, you know, society plays a role too in like the amount of people who are anorexic, bulimia and things like that. Because we're looking at what society says is okay instead of what we say is okay. And
these parents that like accuse their kids of being fat because they have like a little belly, I think it's horrible. Horrible. You can, whoever disagrees with me can write me all day long because I don't care. I think it's horrible. You know, I mean, every kid is going to be different, and they shape differently as they grow. Yeah. Like, one day their arms might be a little longer than their legs, or, you know. It just makes me really sad to see parents pushing these kids into anorexia or bulimia, because the parents probably have a very insecure image of themselves.
As well.
And it's being passed on to these kids. But hopefully, you know, it's all about breaking cycles as you mature. So hopefully, you know, people that are in that situation can have that cycle broken and be a better person to their kids or, you know, their friends or whoever.
And going into that, you know, there's a lot of children today, unlike when I was growing up, that are overweight. You know, you have a lot of, because they're just eating a lot of fast food, a lot of high-calorie meals and things like that. And the parents play a major role in that as well, of being able to monitor that and try to help encourage their children to, you know, eat better and do better. Even if you're a parent that's not at home as often, you can still help control those meals by making them proper meals, you know, and leaving it in the refrigerator for them.
Yeah, if you can't get fresh fruit, then try to get frozen fruit or things that, because I know a lot of the canned and bottled fruit will have so much sugar in it, but if you can maybe get frozen fruit or, you know, get bananas or something. And I know there are so many areas that you can't just go to the store and get fresh fruit. I know in where we live in our city, a certain part of the neighborhood doesn't have like a Whole Foods or
Yeah.
things like that.
Right. And
they might have a Kroger or
Whole
something
Foods
like
are
that.
generally in the the more well-off places and things like that.
Yeah,
So.
and it's sad because there's such the population that probably needs it the most, or needs a more nutritious
food and things like that. Yeah,
nutritious diet.
They're at a much higher price point too. But I always tell people too when they're saying, "Oh, well, I just can't afford that. I can't afford that." You really can't afford going to the doctor all the time either. So it's kind of like you either
it's preventative.
Yeah, you either put the money in food or you're going to put the money in medicine. And most of the people, and they did a study about the people who are the majority of the population that typically has the most health issues or always in the hospital and things like that are people who come from low income circumstances.
Yeah.
So
we've been there. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to eat healthy. And you're tempted by that McDonald's dollar menu because you're like, I could feed everybody for $6.
$6, right?
Like where if we went to the grocery, I could buy a loaf of bread, some processed turkey, or peanut butter and jelly.
Or cheese.
Yeah, or cheese. But, it's really hard. And I think once it's kind of going back to, what you want to do. If you want to make a change, then make a little starter garden. You can get your little egg crate and make some soil. And start some little seed starters and then put them in pots or just put them out in the yard or in your window.
Small. You can start out small too. Like you can take
some
out
tomatoes.
Yeah, you can take out from your grocery list bread because as we know, starches and things like that are the main reason.
It's a hard one to get rid of. It's hard.
It's very hard. Potatoes and things like that. That is one of the main reasons why we're having problems with our glucose levels and stuff like that. So kind of just slowly taking that out. You don't have to take it out entirely, but just take out a bulk of that. That's mainly what I've been doing myself.
Or go to the library.
Yeah.
I mean, the library's free. You can check out books. I mean, the library has a ton of books on for your kids, for yourself, for your animals. Like just a healthy, try a new recipe.
Right.
Once a week, or look online if you have access, which obviously you probably have access to the internet. But I mean, recipe.com, there's a bunch of websites that you can just type in an ingredient and it'll give you a recipe for stuff. And, just try something new and go outside your box of your norm.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. It's like people are so comfortable and so content. I know even with my parents, when I talk to them about a lot of stuff, they're so content and so comfortable where they're at. It's really hard to try to get them out of that to try to do something different. But as as I continue to talk to them and things like that, and as of course they have a few health problems themselves, they started slowly taking things out and stuff like that and trying to change small ways.
Baby steps.
Yeah. Change small ways. And just like myself, just trying to change little small things. And every small step helps. And that's what people don't realize. Every small thing that you do helps. And as you continue, you start doing better things for yourself. You start introducing your body to newer foods, newer things and stuff like that. And newer ways of life, even if it's like whether it's going walking or something like that. All of those things help aid your self-esteem.
Yeah.
They definitely do.
They create your they get your endorphins going, and those endorphins are what makes you feel better. And when you start feeling better, you want to do more, and you want to do more, you want to do more, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I want to do everything. Woo! It's gonna feel good.
It's like, oh my gosh, like I've made such a major transformation in my life. You really start feeling better about yourself.
Set goals for yourself. It's all about what you want to do and what we want to do for ourselves.
And not only that, but just doing things for yourself plays a role in like your friends and things like that. They start seeing different things and like, oh, they'll start trying new things and stuff like that. I know with Karen and them, they tried like grass-fed beef. I had never had grass-fed beef before, before like hanging out with them. And now that's the only beef I want.
It spoils you. It costs more, but it is worth it.
Absolutely.
All I'm going to say is if you're interested in what it is, watch the documentary on Netflix called Food Inc., I think.
Yeah, Food Inc.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you guys for watching today. So definitely we love you guys for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if you haven't subscribed yet. We welcome you to the show.
Yes. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Thumbs up.